The first one is the flinch. Imagine turning on your shower, turning the faucet to an ice cold temperature and stepping in, getting your entire body under the freezing cold water. That feeling right before you step in, that's the flinch. When I learned about this, I actually was watching a Matt DiVella video about taking cold showers. He mentions this book called The Flinch, and it talks about the best thing about practicing something like getting into a cold shower or doing something you really don't want to do that makes you feel uncomfortable is that it's a small action that builds up and helps you complete bigger, scarier things later on down the line. There's bound to be lots of things in your life that's going to give you a flinch. But the better you get at getting through the flinch, the easier life becomes. It's tough to do the tough things in life, and usually the tough things in life are the things that are going to give us the biggest reward and help us achieve the dreams that we have for ourselves. So, the flinch is your bitch. The second is the 5-minute rule. Now, I've made a video on the 5-minute rule before, and if you want to dive deeper into it, definitely check out the link. I'll put it down below and watch that video. You can even open up a separate tab now so that you have it as soon as this video is done. The 5-minute rule is essentially that if you can break down important tasks in your life to just 5 minutes, daunting tasks even, into just 5 minutes, you're much more likely to do them, and therefore you're likely to build that habit. So if you want to build the habit of working out or doing yoga every day for 30 days, then instead of telling yourself that you're going to do an hour-long yoga every day for 30 days, why don't you tell yourself, I'm going to do 5 minutes of yoga every day for 30 days. And if I show up for more than 5 minutes, awesome. But all I have to do is 5 minutes. And I apply this to all kinds of things in my life, especially important tasks I need to get done in the morning. If I don't want to do it and I really need to do it, I will just tackle 5 minutes of it. And what that does is even if I don't want to finish beyond 5 minutes at that time, it helps my brain know what steps are next. So when I sit down in a few hours and I get back into the project, it's easier to get going. Third is life is too short to always be improving. I'm an idealist. I know it. I've taken personality tests that have told me this, and I am okay with it. I mean, obviously, an idealist would be okay with always being on the improvement train. I've found that if I don't balance this idea of constantly wanting to improve and constantly wanting to optimize my life, I'm inevitably not ever taking the time to recognize how happy I am now. Something that has really stuck with me is the realization that what you aspire for in the future and what you're excited about, what you can't wait for, when you get there, there will inevitably be something that you miss from the past, from this very moment, this version of yourself that you miss. So something I've realized is that I don't want to be constantly trying to improve. Improving is great. Optimization optimizes things. And we all like that. But accepting that every moment is cherishable and we can find something to be happy in every moment, as cheesy as that sounds, it's important for level-headedness and to not slip into depression. If you're always searching for something ahead, you're never going to be happy with what you have now. And that will just be a virus that sticks with you forever. Like, on some real shit. Fourth is giving myself permission to change. This is something that is tough. It's a tough one because we have an identity, and the more people that we know from our past, it keeps us tied to that identity. And I'm not saying go get rid of all of your friends from your past, but be aware of the person that you want to be now. Are you fully becoming that person? Are you allowing yourself to let go of things that you may not even enjoy anymore? Are you allowing yourself to let go of things that you don't agree with or you don't feel anymore? A really good way to think of this is you would redecorate your house, would you not? You know, every couple of years. You may decorate your home and love every piece you've picked out. And 5 years from now, You may say, oh, I don't really like that style anymore. I'm gonna sell that piece and get something new. I'm gonna completely redo that room. That would be normal. And in fact, most people do that more than every 5 years. We spruce up things once a year. We get rid of things we don't need anymore and just lighten up our lives by getting rid of the excess that doesn't serve us anymore. So why in the world would we not let ourselves do that for this sack of skin? Unless you give yourself permission to change and say it's okay to let go of the old me. This whole "you changed" attitude, as if it's a negative thing, is just naive. If you're still the same person you were 10 years ago, I would say that's a problem. It's time to let yourself let go of the shitty parts of yourself that you don't like anymore. And it's okay. Give yourself permission to do that. I am so hot, but the view is pristine against these windows, so your girl is sacrificing. Starting over can seem really daunting and scary and difficult. And it is, but it also has so many rewards on the other side. When I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, it was such a difference in environment for me. I didn't have any friends there. I didn't have any family there, really. And most importantly, I didn't have anybody holding me to this person that I thought I had been defined as. Obviously, it's important to keep your identity, but it's also important, like we talked about, to let go of things that you don't really vibe with anymore. It could be anything for you: starting a new job, starting a new major, moving to a new town, getting new friends, and ditching the toxic ones. It's important to let yourself become the person you dream of becoming. Taking care of my body is something that I started trying to do in high school. And of course, I did all kinds of unhealthy things in high school, but I started to try to eat a little bit healthier, and I started to learn in college about where my food comes from and the food industry. And so there's certain things that started these building blocks of taking care of myself. And I'm not saying you have to go full foodie and get obsessed with your food. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I don't think I'd be where I am without having a passion for taking care of this machine that moves me and holds all my organs and my brain. I know that for me, getting older and not having the usability of my body the way that I know it now is really scary and daunting. And I know I'm super young right now, and it's silly to worry too much about these things when you're really young. But it's also really silly to not think about them at all. And something I've learned is that if I can try my hardest now to take care of my body and listen to my body and move my body in ways that feel good now, in the long run, I'll have a more able body. And fingers crossed that the work that I put in now will pay off tenfold in the future. This isn't even my backyard, if we're being honest. I am just visiting some family, and I live in a city. So it's not always one size fits all when it comes to connecting to nature, but you know how you can do it near you. And that's all I'm asking of you, is to just try, even if it's just putting your feet in a patch of grass on the sidewalk. There's something about the Queen Mother Nature and her land that will cure nearly any ailment, I'm telling you. I work from home, so I'm constantly sitting behind a desk on a computer, hunched over like a hobbit, and I'm learning how to sit up straight and try to keep my shoulders good. But something that has completely changed my life is connecting with nature. Obviously, we all know that time with nature is good, but how often do we actually go out and spend time in it? There's a reason why spending time in nature feels good, and it's because you're meant to do it. So take some time today, even if it's in the rain, to just go outside and breathe in the fresh air. I'm telling you, it is something that I can't live without. And you can't live without either, even if you don't know it. I've been feeding this baby raccoon for about 3 months now here. And I'm telling you, every day it is still the highlight of my day. Being close to wildlife, it makes you remember how simple it is to just connect with nature and disconnect with the chaotic world that us humans have created. It's cool and all, but boy is it fucking chaotic. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know that I love yoga and meditation, and one of my most popular videos, my most popular video on this channel is about yoga and the effects that it has on me. It's like a spell. When I do yoga consecutively for even just a week, I feel like so vibey. It just helps wash away all the bullshit problems that life brings. It helps wash away so many worries of the day ahead or the day that's already behind you. It really is magical, I'm telling you. And I'm not somebody who's like super spiritual, man. I just am telling you from experience. The physical benefits of doing yoga, incredible, right? You're gonna get a tight booty, you're gonna get that peach, baby, you're gonna get some biceps, but the thing is your body is going to feel more capable. You're going to feel more flexible. You're gonna feel more able to move agilely, with agility. You're gonna feel like a whole new person if you start doing yoga on a daily basis. Try it for 30 days. If you don't believe me, go watch my 30-day yoga review. And if you still don't believe me after that, go watch my 170-day yoga review. I did 170 days of yoga straight, and it's gonna rock your fucking world. And I cannot explain it. You just have to do it. Now that brings us to our final finale, last but not least, definitely not least, our baddest bitch of them all, meditation. And you can call me cheesy because, oh, you know, meditation and yoga, of course they're gonna make you feel good, everybody says that. But have you actually tried it? If you've never sat down and meditated, you're not alone. Most people have never done it. Most people have heard of it, but most people have never done it. And I'll tell you why most people haven't done it. Because meditation is fucking scary. You think it's all gonna be fun and games. Oh yeah, sure, I can sit down and just clear my mind and not think of anything. That's not how it goes. Meditation leaves you in a room by yourself with your thoughts. Now, people don't like to sit alone with their thoughts. And in fact, there was a study done on if people would rather have an electric shock or sit alone with their thoughts. And 75% of people chose the electric shock. Now, if that doesn't tell you how averse we are as humans to being stuck in our minds, I don't know what else will. Because nobody wants to be electrocuted, okay? But doesn't that say something? We're all afraid of sitting alone in silence and listening to what our mind has to say. But if you try it, if you do it, you will realize that you actually kind of have a little bit of control over what thoughts take over and what thoughts just get left in the dust. Let me explain. When you sit down to meditate, for the first couple seconds, you're gonna think you've got this. It's gonna feel like, oh, I breathe in, I breathe out, I can do this. And then all of a sudden your nose itches and you start thinking about that itch. And then all of a sudden your head itches and you start thinking about that itch. And then all of a sudden your tummy rumbles and you start thinking about what you ate last and what you're gonna eat next. And then all of a sudden you start singing this song that's been in your head all day that really sucks and you hate it. And then you realize, oh my God, I'm not even meditating anymore. So then you come back to your breath and you're like, okay, I got this. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, I got this. And then you hear something outside the window, or the washer goes off, or your cell phone buzzes. That one is a hard and heavy one, okay? You don't even have to have an external distraction. Your mind will just start coming up with things to think about. And then you'll realize it and you'll be like, shit, here I am again. I was supposed to just focus on my breathing and I'm not. I'm thinking about tomorrow's outfit. That's dumb. And you're gonna wanna beat up on yourself. But it's this process of coming back to that breath and coming back to the awareness of what you're thinking about. Because it's okay to have racing thoughts. We're human beings and we're gonna have a lot of thoughts. In my last video, I talk about how getting lost in thought and being distracted by thought and overthinking keeps us from really living our life. It keeps us constantly in this chaotic mess of conversation in our head instead of being aware of what is actually even happening right now. Meditation is the only medicine that I have ever found that will help you be more in control of what comes into your mind on a daily basis. And we all want that. We all want to feel like we have some self-control. You're not ever going to have self-control of your mind and be able to feel at peace with your thoughts if you don't start meditating. It's the only way that I know, okay? And I know that this might feel a little bit crazy and daunting, but don't worry, in the description, I've made a list for you of everything that we went over so that you can come back to this and re-listen to the parts that you need when you need them. And just remember that all these changes are about bite-sized pieces. It's all about biting the cookie one bite at a time instead of trying to eat the whole thing at once.